Let's see if AI it's strong enough to debate you.
Well, at least after today, AI is going to learn.
Yeah, well,
Learn
I'm
a
sure.
lot.
Let's see.
85% of the brokers should be out of this market.
Wow.
I think my page blew up because of the hate. Okay.
I asked ChatGPT, and I have with me here a few reasons. I'm gonna go through them. Yeah, the first one.
Would you like to go or should I shoot first?
Go first.
Okay.
And I'll add.
According to stats,
Yes, we brought the biggest people in real estate, the biggest commentators of real estate in one episode. They're literally in one studio now. So I'm sure you like the highlights before seeing my face now. You'll not see it a lot. It's going to be all them. I have with me Raja already. She's going to be a co-host. You've seen her before as a guest, but today she's a co-host. You want to say something, Raja?
Hello, everyone. It's going to be an amazing episode, so please watch it till the end.
Yeah, you have to watch it till the end because we're going to be having an interesting debate. So this debate is between AI and literally Dr. Anand and Mr. Zoheb because they're the most knowledgeable people I know in real estate. So this is a very different very different debate in terms of nature. So I'm sure you will love it. Also, I just want to thank my friend Saeed. He's our stylist. He have a brand Unico. If you like this, Unico is Saeed. I will put the in the description box his Instagram. He's amazing, especially for people who like suits. He's the best person in design when it comes to suits. So let's come back to our episode. Welcome, Zoheb again on Chekd. I want to thank you that you literally put me on the map when it comes to podcasts and when it comes to real estate. I want to thank you for that, by the way.
you're welcome, man. And thank you for having me again.
And Mr. Anand, it's a pleasure to have you with me. I watch all your reels. Even though I'm not an agent, because of you, I know a lot of numbers about real estate, which is amazing. So I want you just to say something. If you want to say something before we start the podcast, you want to share something with us?
Well, I was thinking about this actually today. And recently we had the Tyson versus Paul match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Have you seen it? I think this is the Tyson versus Paul in real estate.
That's amazing.
It's AI versus RI. Right?
Yeah, like-
so we're going to take them on. We're going to take on the global intelligence, and we're going to be the ambassadors for Dubai today.
so so you're saying like AI is Jake Paul and Tyson is you guys?
No, it's actually the opposite.
Come on.
No, we'll go with Tyson.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
We're old school.
But Tyson went down in the
Yeah,
fight.
but that's why there's always a rebound, right?
But it was staged. I think it was staged. But anyways, with that being said, I want also to hear about Zoheb, if you want to say something before we start.
No,
Share
I think
something.
we'll just stick with Tyson.
All right. So, okay, before we do this interesting debate, there is a lot of questions that I want to ask you when it comes to social media because, I mean, you guys are like big people in social media. Like, I think you have around 400,000 followers.
A little over that as of now.
And you have around 400,000 followers as well.
All across platforms.
And
yeah.
you guys talk about real estate in Dubai. So it's super niche. And you have all this following. I mean, even you, Raja, you have a lot of content. And I know it takes some time and effort. So I just want to know how they're coping with that.
100%. But I have a question for them.
Yeah.
So away from the titles and away from social media, who are you really?
Okay, interesting question. Psychologist, family member, transformational coach. I love changing the world, one person at a time. I'm a spiritual teacher as well. So I actually teach in the church a lot. That's who I am, a very family man. I don't do the late nights. I don't do the clubs. That's not my style. I actually like to spend my time with people and getting lives on track. That's just what I do. I do it professionally. I do it personally.
That's beautiful. This is actually like a different, I would say, angle from you. Like probably like in a different episode, if you would allow us, we would love to have you and then probably like get a close up on Dr. Anand, the person, not Dr. Anand, the businessman.
No
Yeah.
problem. We'll drop the doctor out of that as well.
Yeah, it will be an episode without any numbers. What about you?
I'll try.
What about you, Zoheb? Yeah, I'm sure we will make you like if you talk about numbers, we'll stop you in that episode. So Zoheb, what about you?
I'm just another guy, man. Just
I mean,
doing my
about
thing.
the Harleys, I really want to hear about that. Really, like a realtor on Harley, is that really or just like a catchphrase?
So I've had my Harley since 2018. and I used to write a lot back in the day when I didn't own my own agency. But since the past 2 years, it's just been catching dust.
So you're not using it.
I just got everything done up. I got the tires changed. I got it serviced. I got it polished. And I took it for one ride about a month ago. But
Just
then
to
it's
refresh
back
the
in the
memory,
garage
yeah.
again. Yeah.
I see you have a lot. You take a lot of stories with cats. You like cats. You have a cat.
I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that. Yeah. So except you outside of social media, you're also a family man,
Yeah.
hanging out with your wife.
Yeah. My
Sometimes
wife
the
and my
holiday-
2 cats. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. But look, I have this. It's a psychological question for you, especially that I heard. I just knew that you were into psychology and all of that. When I started my experience in social media, like it takes a toll on you in terms of let's say followers, views, return on like clients. Are you receiving like an outcome from it? Also outside, it kind of make you a little bit like you're always thinking about what you're gonna post. You're not always connected with your loved ones. Is it just me, or it happens to you too?
I mean, I can only speak for myself on this one. I haven't faced that because truthfully, I never paid a lot of attention to my social media. It's just that everybody wanted to meet with me, wanted to do the podcast. And honestly, if you look at my social media, no one's handling it. It's raw, unedited. There's no color sequences. There's no branding on it. It's just intent and content.
Wow.
I just upload that, and that's the reason why. Today, people from around the world, I'm sure even for Zoheb, it's people around the world following, not just Dubai. But I think they come to, like I said, I can only speak. I think they come to my Instagram to hear what I'm saying, because you have to speak from the heart. That's all I do. That's all. It's not managed by anybody. For example, you guys will edit this, you'll send it to me, you'll add me as collaborator, and
Yeah.
boom, a story will go up. That's it. That's my only effort in it.
So you don't have anybody handling the social media for you?
Nada, not one.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I think that's the beauty of social media, right? The simpler you can make it, the more relatable it is.
Yeah, I mean,
To be
people want to know how are you making a difference to them? A social media that just promotes you has no meaning at all. You have to have answers to people's problems. You have to be there for them. And I'm sure Zoheb will also fit that label. Today we're ambassadors for Brand Dubai.
Yeah.
100%.
When you're,
All of us.
ambassadors for Brand Dubai, it's never about you. It's always about your city, and it's about the people who are in the city.
True.
And this should be everyone's approach, because the spirit of Dubai has to live in each of us.
So true.
How about you, Zoheb?
What about me?
Because
So-
you're the influencer. Somehow.
Yeah, because you're not just I believe like with your social media, it doesn't just show business, it also shows a little bit of your personality. And I know if like I don't have like a huge following on social media, but I know that it comes with lots of negatives and then lots of positive things. You have lots of people would leave like beautiful messages, encouraging messages, but you would have, for instance, lots of people, for instance, like would bully you, or like would just send you so much hatred for no reason. Have you faced that, and how do you handle it?
I think my page blew up because of the hate. Okay, and this was from the early days.
Yeah.
What we started realizing in the earlier days was that, you know what, this is actually what's going to keep working, because your friends and your family are only a limited number of people, and they're only going to comment a few times. Back in the day, algorithm worked on comments. Today, algorithm works on shares and so on.
Yeah.
So all the people who care about you and love you are probably going to be a few, 10, 50, 25, 30. But the people who hate on you are going to be a lot more if you're able to put out that kind of content. And that has helped me blow up in the start for whatever things they picked on. I've lived in Dubai for almost 34 years. So the heat and people's hate doesn't really affect me. I've grown a thick skin. And I just take it as some guy who probably had a bad day or had an issue and needed a place to vent. So you know what? Go for my channel. I don't mind.
You never take it personally. You don't care.
I mean, what's the point? I don't even know the individual. Like I said, maybe they had a bad day.
Yeah.
And it's okay, you know what?
But you know, in real estate alone, without social media, real estate is such a... When you go to a sales center or in a brokerage, and I'm sure Raja will agree with me on that, it's very electrical. Like, it's very challenging. It's very competitive. It's like a bunch of sharks moving, and there's a lot of agents and a little bit of... Not a little bit, it's a lot of units, but still we're in shortage, right? And everybody is selling, you know what I mean? So even vis-a-vis the clients, a lot of clients, they're being contacted with agents all the time. And sometimes, things happen. I don't know if you agree with me in that, Raja. Like, I mean, on a personal level, like certain agents, they have to grow up, right?
100%. Like for me, I believe because in real estate, you meet on a daily basis. We meet like hundreds of people, especially like when there are events and stuff. So different people, they come from different background, and that by default, you have to learn how to manage dealing with those people.
Yeah.
So my question would be basically, what is the one thing in real estate that you guys have learned not to take personally? Because I know there are so many things that I take so personally and I get upset. For instance, for me, like when I schedule an appointment with a client and they don't show up without saying, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to attend the meeting, that pisses me off. So what
The
is it for
famous
you?
term ghosting, right?
Ghosting, exactly.
Right.
They just disappear.
I mean, there could be multiple reasons. I have a lot of agents also who DM me constantly that, oh, I set up appointments, the client didn't show up, and so on and so forth. Various factors play a role, and I'm sure Dr. Anand will agree to it as well. Maybe they just said yes to pacify the agent on the other side. Maybe that agent didn't connect well with them. Maybe that agent wasn't looking out for their requirement. Maybe they had a family emergency. It's something we just need to learn to adapt, that, okay, you know what, these are things that I'm going to face no matter what, because it is a part of our industry in any sales department. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You tell the car dealer, you know what, I'm going to come check out that Ferrari today, and you decide not to show
Not
up
to
because
show
you know
up.
what, your wife is like, no way you're getting that Ferrari, man. You're not going to call the guy and tell him, bro, I'm sorry, my wife's not letting me come. You're just going to ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
So-
want to add to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, see, truthfully, and here's the first hate comment for me on this show. All right.
Let's go for it.
85% of the brokers should be out of this market. They don't even need to grow up.
Wow.
This is a fact. Okay? They need to be out. Honey attracts flies. These guys have come in sniffing at the money. They honestly don't care about a buyer. They don't care about a seller. They don't care about the brokerage. They don't care about the developer. And they don't care about brand Dubai or the city of Dubai. They just sniff the money. They have no clue. You ask any of them how many transactions was registered in Dubai today, they have no idea.
True.
This is it. And it's a firm belief. I have said it on multiple podcasts. Okay, we are aiming to be the number one city in the world. We are the number one performing market in the world, number 3 in popularity. It is not acceptable to me that any buyer or seller has anything less than a red carpet real estate experience. Why should they?
I agree.
Yeah.
When we are trying to become the best in the world in everything that we're doing, why will we not give the best experience in real estate to people? But you can only do that when your heart is for the city and
Yeah.
for what you're doing. When you're only sniffing the money, you go and sell boats. You can make your money there as well.
True.
So
True.
honestly, 85% of them shouldn't even be in the market.
But when we come back about, let's say, about the few that should be in the market, if you will advise them, because not only vis-a-vis the clients, by the way, even internally between agents, sometimes an agent with another agent, he or she takes something personally that they're not supposed to take it personally, or even in like in a brokerage
Listen.
or a developer.
Salespeople are drama queens. Okay? They're highly emotional people. They're very weak on emotional intelligence. This is generally salespeople. Okay? They take things personally.
True.
This is one of my biggest lessons that I learned was ignore the rejection. You're never going to keep everybody happy.
100%.
You didn't wake up in the morning to keep people happy. You woke up because you have a vision. There's something that you need to do for yourself and your family. Stay focused on that.
True. Yeah.
Don't get into all the negativity and the commenting and all of that stuff. That's what drags you down. And if you're in the industry and you're serious about it, there's one bit of advice I would give everybody: be very careful who you listen to.
True.
Be very, very careful who you. People will shape your perception and change how you think without your permission. They'll do it in every coffee break, in every cigarette break. They'll stand and grumble, grumble, grumble. And then after some time, it starts to eat into you. And then
Yeah.
that cancer starts to grow.
True.
Surround yourself by the people who are focused. They know why they wake up. Half of them have even lost. They don't even know why they wake up.
True.
So
Especially in brokerage, you don't have like a check-in time and a check-out time. So
well, yes and
A
no.
lot of agencies do.
Yeah.
Yes
and a
and
lot
no.
of agencies don't.
Yeah, yes and no. How again? I would like to add to that, and then Zoheb, I'll shut up. So
No, you're good. Carry on, man. I love listening to you anyways.
okay. So this check-in time and check-out time. There's a physical check-in time and a check-out time, and there's a mental check-in time and check-out time. The people who are successful they check in here.
Yeah.
Okay, not on the clock.
True.
Okay,
100%.
they could be at 8 o'clock in the morning at a business breakfast, but they're checked in already. So to me, that's where you need to check in, because we have a city that's switched on. Our investors are all checked in people. That's why they've got the millions and the billions in their bank. Okay, last thing they want to see is a Mickey Mouse show up. He has no clue what he's even doing or even presenting to them. So check in mentally first and then physically.
100%.
I agree.
And the way I look at it, I'm not even like, I do work for a brokerage currently, but for me, it's not about the brokerage. It's about myself. I'm working for myself.
Yeah,
I don't need
100%.
someone to tell me what time to come in and what time to come out, what to do, like my follow-ups. Did you call or did you not call? It's something that you're doing for yourself. If you don't have that vision and that dedication to your vision and your mission, there's nobody that's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Simple.
Everything is consistency.
Yeah.
You have to dress up, get up, show up every single day.
100%.
Okay, so on the note of advising real estate people, and I'm sure like even Raja will benefit from that. I mean, we all know that what make you go from point A to point B, not necessarily is what gonna take you from point B to point C. So in a I'm sure like from especially in sales, in my experience, because I'm also from a sales background, but in luxury retail, anyways. So I believe that to upgrade in your career in real estate, you need to sometimes unlearn some things that you did in your beginnings to go to the next level.
Yes.
So
what would be the thing, if there is one thing that you have to designate and say, this is the thing that all real estate agents must unlearn in order for them to take their careers to the next level, what would be that one thing?
Okay, now speaking purely as a psychologist here, you can't unlearn it. Forget that. It cannot happen, because we're creatures of unconscious pattern.
yeah,
What we've been doing and not doing well is now pattern. Instead of trying to unlearn something, focus on learning a new thing and focus on doing that consistently. The new pattern will overtake the old one. This is how it is, okay? People don't leave their behaviors and their thoughts outside the door when they walk in. They're going to bring their unconscious patterns with them. For me, it's not about learning or unlearning anything. For me, there's one thing that everybody needs to check every day. It's their attitude. If you have your attitude bang on, correct, you will automatically know what you have to do less of and what you need to do more of. And you won't even make the excuses, and you'll be humble enough to go looking for the people who can make you strong in that area. So this for me is the one thing. Check your attitude every day, because that is the major issue in the market today.
attitude. You heard it.
That's
What
an
about-
amazing answer.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll just add to that, man. And one more thing that Anand Bhai highlighted earlier as well is people letting their feelings take over. So just leave your feelings at the door or leave them at home, compartmentalize, do what you're out there to do, and then go back home and start that thing again.
And we spoke about it in our first episode about
Yeah, I
feelings.
remember, yeah.
And for me, I struggled with that when I was doing sales in the beginning, because there's a lot of rude clients. Let's face it. And what I learned is that the only way to go through it, the only way to put your feelings out of the door, out, when you keep them out, not take them with you to the office or whatever you are selling, is by going through it, by getting those cuts one after
Correct.
another, and then you're like, you become
After a
like
while,
numb.
you don't feel it anymore.
Yeah, that's the only way.
You know, W. Clement Stone, who was the richest man in the US when he lived, he said sales is dependent on the attitude of the salesperson, not the attitude of the prospects.
True.
Wow.
They can show up any which way. If you listen to the number one sales coach and trainer in the US, Victor Antonio, he was asked once, what's the one thing you would get your salespeople to change? So he asked only one thing. They said, yes, just one thing. He said, tell them to upgrade their attitude or downgrade their expectations.
Very
That's
well
it.
said.
That's it. He didn't say become good in making your calls, follow-ups, none of that. He said upgrade your attitude or downgrade your expectation. That's it.
I really like the fact that it's not about the salesperson. It's about the client who control the conversation, who control the vibe, as we say it. It's the salesperson who control the vibe. Even if you have a client who's pissed, if he see that you are not reacting to him, somehow you might control him. You know what I mean? But we are living in a time, it's very hard. There's a lot of clients from all nationalities, especially in Dubai. We're meeting a lot of clients. I'm sure Raja will agree with that.
100%. Like, For me, to be honest, the next question that I would like to ask you guys would be, when you're with clients, what would be your immediate red or green flag that this client is actually a client who I can work with, I can do business with, or this is someone, for instance, who's a time waster or someone who's just here to, you know.
Let's start with the red flags, please.
Okay, again, my answer is going to be slightly different on this.
Yeah.
There's no first flag. People could come in apprehensive. They've had a bad experience before. They're negative. Some of them are just scared. And they've met Mickey Mouse brokers along the way. They don't even know what to expect from you. So I don't think you should look at one or two flags. They could start badly in a conversation with you, but they could end up becoming some of your best clients ever. The opposite is also true. You'll get this
100%.
happy, chatty people who are with you and they promise you everything, and after that, they're just not there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a series of things that you'll have to put together before you start to decide that this guy is a red flag or that is a green flag. It should never be on just one or two. I think we have to give people that opportunity.
Yeah.
You see, you do not know their journey to that point. How they reach that point where they're sitting with you. You also don't know the last 5 phone calls you got from brokers.
True.
So that is why I believe always give a person the chance. That is why sales is dependent on the attitude of the salesperson, not the attitude of the prospect. They can come in hurt, angry, upset, scheming in any which way. It is your responsibility to change how they think about things.
So basically here we're capitalizing on the psychological management of the client.
It's a human to a human at the end of the day, right? So it really doesn't matter if you come from Russia, from India, from Africa, or from China. We're human at the end of the day. People buy from people they like, but people like themselves.
True.
People buy when they go out with their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more happy, relaxed.
Exactly. I mean, you walk into a dealership and the salesperson is constantly trying to sell. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm just browsing. I'll probably buy, but I'll make sure it's not from you.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm talking to a guy right now that I'm looking for something, and his attitude just turned me off. So I went back to the dealership and I called and I said, I don't want to talk to this guy. Find me the other guy. And that's the person I talk with.
Especially when you're a salesperson and you see bad sales behaviors in other domains, you kind of get turned off about that. Like, he's not selling properly because you are.
Because you pick it up.
Yeah.
You pick it up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You
can,
know
you
this.
can read his mind. Like,
if you're going to try to sell to a salesperson, bro, you better be good.
You have to, nail it. I don't know how they do with you, Zoheb, but to come back to you, I really want to know Zoheb's point of view, because you deal with a lot of clients on daily basis, I'm sure. Is there like some things that you can pick up, like some patterns you can see? Okay, this client maybe he's a time waster. Oh, this client he's like someone who's ready to buy. Is there like certain patterns you can detect in clients?
Qualification criteria,
Yeah.
basically.
First thing I want to highlight, I love the term Mickey Mouse. Amazing. I'm going to try to use that with my team.
My favorite is we're all ambassadors for the city.
Yeah.
And I'll take
100%.
that very seriously from now on.
100%.
I already do, but like I feel like it kind of adds to the responsibility you have towards the city. So.
Yeah.
I'll highlight what Anand said. There are people who are so-called wasting time, this and that, or there are people who you don't know what they've been through before they reach out to you. About 40 to 50% of the clients that reach out to me have already dealt with someone who was referred to them by a family member or a friend, stating that this guy is a good guy, and they've had a horrible experience. And they're like, oh, I was browsing and I found you, and you seem like a guy who knows his shit. So you know what? I want to talk to you now. Let's see. But by the time they reach out to me, they already kind of know me through my socials. So that makes it easier for me to break the ice. It's more of an easy conversation starter.
You have a bonus here.
I do have an upper hand because I did start before everybody else.
True. You had the first. You know what's the title of our YouTube episode? The first real estate agent in Dubai that starts using social media.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's your title on my. Actually, I'll put it on the top. It's just, all right,
and probably like this is one of the reasons I started doing social media. It's basically because of my inspiration of you. Like
Oh,
literally,
thank you.
Yeah, like initially, I was doing real estate previously in Qatar before I came in here, and we used to sell Dubai as a destination in Qatar. But like when I was on, usually when I get on Instagram, like you wouldn't find so many people doing it. I think there was you and there was another lady that I forgot her name. But the person who really inspired me to kind of start creating content on social media was you.
Awesome.
So
I'm
thank
glad
you
I
for
did.
that.
No, you're welcome.
By the way, check Raja's social media platform. It's very nice as well. She have a
Thank
lot
you.
of insights to give. All right, I want to come back to something that really will allow us to start doing our debate. You know, you said something very interesting. You said in the end of the day, it's a human to human, right?
Correct.
We're in an age where AI, it's booming. Like each month, AI become more intelligent. You know, artificial intelligence get exponentially more intelligent. Do you think we'll reach a day where maybe AI will replace agents? So there'll be no Zoheb and Raja.
Okay. I was at an event where they did talk about a lot of these things. AI's role is not to replace an agent. All right. For that matter, I think AI is today more human than most humans I meet in real estate.
True, true.
Because AI is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It is, for example, language patterns. Right brain people use specific language patterns. Left brain uses specific language patterns. The behaviors, the tonalities. Today, AI is assessing all of that. So if I'm talking to Raja, as AI, I'm picking on those patterns and I'm immediately randomly searching billions of databases to understand the most effective way to communicate with her. AI is getting human with her. You know, so it's as simple as that. We need to not fear AI. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to understand AI is not going to do something by itself. It's the fear mongering that has happened. It's like anything. A tool can be used or it can be abused. I could give you a knife and you could stab someone with it, or you could cut a vegetable and make an amazing salad and feed your family.
Yeah.
It's how you plan to use it. That is important.
I think the closest thing to AI for me is a calculator. Literally, the calculator is calculating what you want to calculate, but you're giving the order. But anyways.
Also,
yeah.
while you're giving it different prompts every time, so I use AI to also help me script out some of my ideas. And every time I have to give it a prompt, and like Dr. Anand said, that it goes back, checks the database, and okay, Zoheb is like saying, dumb it down. Okay, so he dumbs it down from there.
Yeah.
But it's also learning at the same time what I'm putting out, like how he said.
It's like a human being, like it's like a brain.
Yeah, I think what we need to understand, all of us, is AI is evolving. It's constantly learning.
Yeah.
So it's getting more and more effective at what it does.
True.
Humans, on the other hand, are degrading. Okay,
Unfortunately.
we're dying in here. Today, people don't want to write a paragraph without going to ChatGPT.
True.
Okay, so we're going dead in here. And every time we ask for a paragraph,
Yeah.
AI is just learning from that request that you gave for a paragraph, and it's got one more bit in its arsenal.
True. Each time we use it, you're giving it more data.
You're giving it more
100%. That's why
information, yeah.
the growth is exponential.
But don't you think that like in 10 years, 15 years, the number of agents or brokers, middlemen in general, when it comes to real estate, don't you think it's going to decrease?
Well, thank God for
Because-
that. It's what we've been trying to do now. AI
Yeah.
will do it for us.
True. There is a lot of, as he said, 80% maybe they don't deserve
AI
to be in
will
the
do
market.
it for us. It will clean the market out of these guys because they can never compete against that higher level of intelligence
Yeah.
because they never bothered to develop their own. So what will happen then when we get into that level of it, that's when we will separate the men from the boys in the
Yeah.
market, because the ones who have been around and people understand who they are will always be
They
here.
will be stay because they have the emotional aspect at least. All right, let's do one thing. Let's see if let's see if AI it's strong enough to debate you.
Well, at least after today, AI is going to learn.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
learned a
sure. Let's
lot.
see. Like I'm sure, like on YouTube, AI will pick up on what you said and it will come back with a counter, and we're gonna do round two.
It's probably picking up everything as we speak.
But
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
sure.
That is
Look,
a fact.
there is one question that everyone is talking about, right, Raja? Everyone is telling, "Oh, Dubai is a bubble. Oh, it's risky to invest here." Let's ask AI. That's why I brought my computer. I'm gonna ask AI right now 5 reasons that Dubai. Give me 5 reasons that Dubai is a bubble, for example, and let's see what's those reasons, and let's see if you can counter them.
Can
All
I
right.
intervene 1 second? That's literally the video I shot today.
You're copying me.
It's almost like Dubai is a gum factory,
Right?
because everything about Dubai is a bubble.
A bubble.
Everything is a bubble.
We're a gum factory.
Well, that's a good one. I like this one. Look, I asked ChatGPT, and I have with me here a few reasons. I'm gonna go through them. Yeah, the first one: oversupply issues. Dubai has tendency to overbuild, leading to an excess of properties in the market. This oversupply often results in a lower rental yield and stagnates or declining properties in value.
Great question. Great question. Would you like to go or should I shoot first?
Go first.
Okay.
And I'll add.
According to stats,
Yeah.
2026 expected to deliver 186,000 units, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Simultaneously, when you talk about rental yields, currently, if you look at realistic numbers, Business Bay is pulling about north of 7% if you're doing annualized returns. No short-term rental. I just rented out one of my studios in Business Bay, prime location, for 92,000 dirhams
All right.
with
yeah.
one payment. I picked up the unit for 1.15. So net take home is 7%. If I did short-term rentals, I know I was pulling 9%, but I'm more of a easygoing guy, so I just
Yeah.
give one check, finish it up. But with the number of units coming in, which I mentioned earlier, if you go back 2-3 years, 2021, about 47,000 golden visas were issued. Okay, 2022, you're north of 150,000. 2022 was about 74,000, 75,000, because I do a lot of research when I do my videos. 23 was probably 140,000, and 2024 until date, we've crossed 160,000 golden visas. Now, golden visas has two stats, two types of people. One, who has more than 2 million dirhams invested in the market, and two, the guy who draws more than 30,000 dirham salary.
Yeah.
Right?
And us, the creative people,
Right.
trying to get it.
So, with these many people coming into the city and making this their home, with the number of houses coming in, something to think about. Now, let me add a little bit more to that. Just this year, 51,000 business licenses were registered as per the Dubai Chamber. Only in Dubai. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. Only in Dubai. Forget the other Emirates. Okay? Let's say 50% of those
They will
are
fit.
holding companies.
Okay.
People who don't want to live here, but they just want to have a company here, get a visa, and keep it ready to go. Let's say COVID comes back again. Okay? Just so that they have a place to stay. 25,000 companies who are, let's say, mid-sized companies, 10 employees. 25,000 into 10 people. How much is that? 250,000 people?
Yeah.
I'm just counting the people. I'm not even counting their families.
Yeah. It's just like individuals.
Correct. So 250,000 people plus the number of golden visas that were issued over the past 3 years. Do the maths. I wouldn't know. I failed in high school. But that's the number of people moving to Dubai. And if the numbers of the houses that I mentioned are going to be delivered by 2026, do you think we're in a bubble? Or we're going to have excess supply?
Not me. Talk to ChatGPT.
I don't know what else to say, man.
Okay. Yeah. So you've heard some numbers. Now I'll give you a few more numbers.
I
And
know,
I
that
love
was, I know
numbers.
that was
Give me
your
numbers.
part. You do the
It's okay,
numbers.
it's okay. We'll look at both here. I think the first mistake that most people make is you separate real estate as an industry from the economic agenda of the city. You can never do that. The moment you separate the economic agenda of the city from real estate, you cannot explain Dubai. Okay, because Dubai no longer follows any traditional property cycle. We have a wave. We don't have cycles anymore.
Oh.
We are the first city in the world, in the history of mankind, that now operates on a wave, not a cycle. We might talk about that later. So, but coming back to these numbers, why when you look at the agenda, we are at 2.65 million people right now. We will go in 2033 to 6 million people, which is a 2.5 million new entrant into the city. We will go to 7.8 million in 2040. So we're looking at 5.15 million people coming in the next 17 years. The average family size in Dubai is 5.3. You'll get this from Statista.com and the CEIC, Census and Economic Information Center. ChatGPT should be checking on that. Right? So you'll get
You're
that.
hearing?
Now, 5.3 is not a big family. A husband, wife, 2 kids, and a maid is 5.
Yeah.
Now, we have, if in the next 10 years, 2.5 million people are coming in, you're talking 250,000 new people coming in besides the ones who are coming in here on the visas and stuff like that. Now, Not all of them who are coming in here are coming as families. They'll come as a single breadwinner.
True.
Then they might later on find a partner here or later bring family to join them.
True.
So at an average household of 5 per household with 250,000 new people a year, we need 50,000 homes a year just for those 250 people. What about the renters who've been here for a few years, who've been paying a lot, who are now looking to buy?
True.
We need to have inventory for them. Holiday home companies are going nuts right now. There's
Yeah.
been a 30% increase in the last 1 year. 6 months before handovers, they're already contacting the homeowners and saying, we want it. So this is where we are facing that extreme shortage. These units that you were talking of, we know they won't hand over. They'll hand over till 2028, and I'll tell you the reason why. 71% of those units, in fact, Firaz from Farm put out a very good article on this. 71% of those units is only between 0 to 20% of construction.
Oh my God. So we're
71%.
yeah.
12% of those units are only between 21 to 40% construction. They are not coming out in the next 3 to 4 years.
So we have a shortage.
We have a shortage. We have had a shortage both in the affordable category as well as in the high-end luxury category. So the shortage is there, but for multiple reasons, like we were talking before the podcast. We are doubling our economy now from 14.6
You're gonna
trillion.
explain the wave and the cyclical thing.
No, the way we'll do later.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give ChatGPT a chance to bounce back. Because at the moment, Paul is on the ropes, the way I understand it, right? So again, in our economic agendas, we are doubling foreign direct investment to 650 billion just in the next 9 years. Population is increasing by 70%.
True.
Where do they sleep? On the roads? That is the reason why, because the concern of the oversupply is with all these crazy launches happening, you're going to have more oversupply in the future. Not true. Also, we have now signed trade agreements, or the plan in the next 9 years is to sign trade agreements with 400 new cities. That's 43 to 44 cities a year, 4 cities a month. One new city every week is signing a trade agreement with Dubai. The people are coming. That is why we are building an airport to handle 260 million passengers a year. We are opening 3 economic corridors. Southeast Asia, obviously China being the big influence. You have Latin America because of BRICS.
Yeah.
And then you got Africa, the emerging giant. The people are coming. Have you seen what's been happening on our roads?
Yo,
Yeah,
my
the
God.
traffic.
Now traffic start from 3:30 till
Yeah.
8:30.
Last year
Don't complain
alone.
about traffic.
Yeah?
Don't complain about traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
No,
real
no,
estate
you
agents
cannot
like.
complain.
They love traffic.
No, you cannot complain. Last year alone, we've had a 10% increase in the number of new vehicle registration. The average worldwide is 2%.
True.
Yeah.
2%.
We're breaking records.
Yeah, we are
every
breaking
level.
records all the time. So when people say there's an oversupply, firstly, I always ask them, what is that statement based on? It's hearsay in the market or what they're hearing from everybody. Did anybody look at any report and understand it? When you separate real estate from the economic agenda, it does not make sense. But when you look at what we're doing, another word for real estate is infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you double your economy without having more office parks, without having more residential communities, towers, hotels, malls, parks, beaches, clubs, retail? You need all of that. That's the infrastructure, airports. So how can real estate slow down so that people will say, this makes sense now, but go ahead and double your economy?
I think ChatGPT is not smart enough now. You need to upgrade.
The count must have reached 7 or 8 now by the referee. Yeah? Round 1.
Look, there is another thing I wanna talk about. Look, because you covered a lot of things. You shut down on your explanation other reasons, but there is one. It's a little bit interesting. Dependence on foreign buyers.
And foreign investors in general, also like for the economy, not just real estate.
Not just real estate. Talking about economy, everybody is a foreigner. Do you think it's a plus or a negative? Like according to ChatGPT here, it's because if anything can happen, anything that happen, it can like everybody can leave. If there is a geopolitical problem, people might leave. And I don't know if the golden visa is a solution for that, but like, how do
The
you...
golden visa is not a solution for that anymore. It was a huge attraction about 3 years ago, I mean, now every second guy is getting a golden visa.
Yeah. That
is true.
Okay, because there are so many different categories. You play the flute a little special, we'll give it to you. This
I
is
will
the
learn
reality.
flute tomorrow.
I'm just saying that there are so many ways. Getting the golden visa has become easy now.
Yeah.
In Dubai. Okay, so the golden visa, while it is an advantage of coming into Dubai, is not the reason people are going to come to Dubai. All right, there's multiple other things that we got to look at. And when you look at foreign investments coming, we're doubling our foreign direct investments in the next 9 years.
Yeah.
196 of the Fortune 500 companies, that's 20%, so that's 40% of the Fortune 500 companies now have their regional head offices in Dubai.
In Dubai, yeah.
In Dubai. Every country looks to grow its foreign direct investment. So Dubai is not unique in depending on international investments. Today the markets are global. You're
Yeah.
not a local market where everything is internally. An internal market does not exist by
yeah.
itself anymore. Everything is global.
Because it's interconnected and it's mingling with other markets.
All of that.
So,
But
yeah.
and if you actually look at what has happened, geopolitical situations or tensions, Dubai benefited from it.
Yeah.
Every
All
single
the way.
time.
Every single time we have had it. Ben Bandari has put out an amazing video because of the conflict next door. I like giving credit to people where it's due. Probably
Thanks,
he's
bro.
also Tyson like us. I mean, he talked about it because everyone said now Iran attacked, then Israel attacked back. This is going to escalate. You
Yeah.
know what Ben said? And he was so bang on with that. He said,
What did he say?
2003 to 2008, when you had the Iraq war, everybody said now Dubai is finished. 2003 to 2008 were our highest years.
We didn't reach there yet.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
No, we're gone way past it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry
yeah.
for this
yeah,
mistake.
We're gone.
Yeah.
No, but again, we benefited because the money came here. 2012 to 2014, you had the Arab Spring. 12 Arab nations had internal revolutions. The money came to Dubai.
True.
Correct.
Okay.
True.
Now, in 2022, on the 24th of February, Russia decided to walk into their neighbor's yard. The money came to Dubai. We had an 18% increase in transactions that year because they couldn't take their money to the US. They couldn't take
Yeah.
it to Europe. India won't allow it. China won't allow it. They brought it here. Then Israel decided to do the same thing and walked in, and the money all started coming here.
Yeah.
And why does this happen? This is what people need to understand. We are not influenced now the way people think we will be by geopolitical situations. Dubai is the solution to the world's problems today. Today, if you live in the Middle East, you can't even plan for next morning. You don't know if you're waking up. But in
Sad
Dubai,
but true, yeah.
in Dubai, we are putting out our economic agendas for 17 years to help
Yeah.
the world plan and come here. You can't do this in. Show me one country that has published agendas for 2040. So that's the first thing. We become the solution to that problem. Taxes are killing people everywhere.
Yeah.
We have one of the most friendly tax systems here. We have adopted the Monaco tax system signed with the government of Monaco and DMCC. So we will become the Monaco of the Middle East because all the billionaires go to Monaco.
Wow,
They
yeah.
become the haven.
Yeah.
So we have answered to that. Today, if you're in the US, you don't know if your kid's coming back from school.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not safe at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we became a solution to that problem too.
So what you're trying to do, what you're trying to do now, countering ChatGPT, you're showing me that the geopolitical problems and the problems in general in society, they're already happening outside of Dubai. So it doesn't
It's
make a
actually
difference.
pushing people to come
come
to
here,
Dubai
yeah.
because of these things around the world, wherever
Yeah.
it may be happening. It's making the people leave and come here. And we're not talking just anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
We have the highest millionaire migration on the planet is happening to the
Yeah,
UAE.
I've seen that the highest number of
And it's
multi-millionaires.
just not the US and other cities. It's also our Asian continent. You
All
have
over.
similar things going on in Canada as well.
Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we spoke about this, if you remember, about this subject in our podcast last time. Remember, you told me about like every problem that happens in the world ended up benefiting
Benefiting
Dubai.
Dubai.
It's not that we want problems in the world. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone has a mindset like our visionary leaders probably.
Yeah.
So I guess it benefits in a way.
It benefits. Okay, there is another reason, but it's a little bit sensitive. It's a little bit sensitive.
Let's hear it.
And then we can decide.
Limited legal protection. Despite improvements, investors might face challenges in disputes with developers or tenants, delays in projects completion, cancellations, or quality issues could leave investors vulnerable with limited resources. That's what ChatGPT.
It's exactly why we're smashing record year after year after year on sales. So the numbers on the ground do not match what is happening out there. You can have challenges with off-plan. We have to understand one thing. We are an engineered city and we are a baby city. Okay, the markets from where they're accessing this information is the UK, US, India, which are hundreds of years old. They don't have off-plan markets. They're 96% ready home markets.
Yeah, built.
Yes, built homes. So risk is already minimized.
True.
Now, when you come to an emerging city where infrastructure is at the forefront driving the growth, there is going to be a lot of off-plan. 72.6% is the off-plan dominance in the market today. So that is again meant for a different kind of buyer. I don't take a security investor who's risk averse into buying sand. I take him to something that's 70% plus complete because he can physically see it's coming up. He's ready to pay more and a more aggressive plan, lower returns, but he's happy. If 70% of the building has come up, cash is in the escrow, this will complete.
Yeah.
But then the opportunity investors are the high risk takers. They will never take the 70% complete building. I don't make money on that. So they are the ones who will come in early and they understand the risk that is connected with it. Off-plan, anywhere on the planet has risk connected with it. But it is not stopping our buildings selling out in 2 hours to 4 hours.
Yeah, which is
I think it
Every
never happened
single
before.
launch.
I don't think it happens anywhere else
Anywhere
in the world.
Nowhere else in the world.
Plus,
it's
Nowhere.
like selling apartment like you're selling bread.
But you know the point that you mentioned that these issues can happen and all of that. And I think that's where the client or the buyer also should take up a fair amount of responsibility.
Agreed.
Like how Anand Bhai said, that they are aware of the risks involved because of the reward that they're going to get at the end of the day, which is the appreciation aspect,
Yeah.
right? And if people don't do the right amount of research, because it's their own money at the end of the day, someone can only guide them, right? A broker can be the best to the best of their knowledge to guide the investor, to show him what's the right path to go on. But the investor is well aware that this is the risk I'm taking and it could have consequences.
Yeah.
And you see, it's also today in Dubai, what is again very different compared to the rest of the world is we are giving amounts to be paid upon handovers and post handovers. So you don't pay that money if there is a delay. So I only have put in a certain amount. Now, while there may be a delay, there is still capital appreciation happening every single year on the amount that they put. And we have ridiculous appreciation right now happening in the market. So any of these people who are complaining have no clue what they're talking about. I'm telling you honestly, that's the first thing. They just don't understand the dynamics of the off-plan market. These people shouldn't be getting into off-plan. Last year, 166,000 millionaires invested 634 billion. Are we suggesting they didn't understand all these risks? And they're still doing it. The same guy who's complaining about the delay here, and he will say, I'm losing money, he'll put his money in crypto without thinking twice. He'll put it in stock and share and lose money, then he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not an excuse.
Yeah, it is. No, it is an excuse that people give, but
Yeah.
we don't want you in Dubai. I mean, you're not meant for our kind of market. We are a visionary city. We are aggressive. We are futuristic. If you're futuristic, you'll understand exactly why you should be grabbing a piece of the pie right now.
Exactly. 100%. I agree on that. All right. So there is a point here. Even you guys already smashed it, but I want us to come back to it because it's very important. ChatGPT here says that lack of long-term end users, meaning a significant portion of buyers in Dubai's market are investors rather than end users. This dynamic creates a speculative cycle, and investors rely on price appreciation rather than actual demand from residents. Like they want to invest, not live. How you counter that?
So, I mean, why would investors put money in if there were not enough people coming and living?
Exactly.
I just gave you a small example. I mean, when I bought my studio recently, I paid 2,500 dirhams a foot, 2,500 dirhams a square foot for a studio in Business Bay, which is probably the highest end.
Yeah.
Right? And I was told by everyone that, hey, this unit is not going to get you anywhere around 85, 90,000 also. You must be in a different world. But I'm on the floor every day. I see the market. I understand how units work. I know which building this is. I have sold a lot of product to my own investors in that building, and then eventually I went and bought. I'm getting north of 7% annualized returns. I just mentioned the number of companies that are opening up. These companies are going to need employees. Employees are going to need a place to stay.
Yeah.
People are moving everything into Dubai. Like Anand Bhai mentioned earlier, all your S&P 500, Fortune 500 companies are
they come in.
relocating
I've
here.
seen that. I was shocked. Yeah.
Where are they going to stay? I mean, if it's only investors buying product, why would investors buy product?
Okay, here's an education tip for ChatGPT.
Thank you. Talk to her, not me.
Are you gonna type it
It's a
down?
him. It's a him. It's not
Okay,
her.
Oh, is it?
Oh well, ChatGPT sounds like a lady, but
okay. Firstly, because of the chat.
I was about
Okay.
to say that, but I was like,
Firstly,
too delicate.
we have to all stop using this word end user. Okay, it's a very insulting term in the industry. It's
homeowner.
homeowners and investors.
True.
If I'm putting 10 million, I'm a homeowner, I'm not an end user. End user makes me sound like I'm a product that's coming out at the end of a factory line, a production line.
wow.
And it is a very IT word. We are homeowners, firstly. To say that we don't have long term. How long have you been here in the UAE?
34 years.
I'm here 31 years. What does ChatGPT have to say now to that? So secondly, an investor who's putting money, that's where Zoheb was correct on this. Why would they put their money if they're not going to have people to rent out? Now, we have 87% of the population are expats here. It's true expats will come, stay for a few years, some will leave, but more are coming. We have a 70% increase in population coming. That's 2.5 million people in just the next 9 years. We need 1 million new homes in the next 17 years in Dubai. 1 million new homes. Wow. Okay, you expect the launches to slow down? There's no way that's going to happen. Secondly, when you're talking, because what ChatGPT is saying here is that this is affecting the appreciation on homes, and therefore people are not going to be making good returns. If you look at the Property Monitor report of just October, the average increase per month on month, was 1.73%. Average increase quarter on quarter is 5.44%. We will close the year on 21.6%. At this point, we are 17.22% higher than last year, October. So, where is this return coming from? And this is coming because there is a demand. Every launch is selling out. One, see, the government is having its own agenda. Two, the developers are launching in line with the agenda. They're just not waking up and saying, let me throw 12,000 units into the market.
yeah.
It is in line with the agenda because we know this 238,000 units that are expected to come by 2028 will not come. Half of that will come. But even if those come, I have to still launch because I have 1 million people coming in the next 4 years.
You told me something shocked me before we do the podcast. You were calculating how many a house was sold per hour.
Yeah. I gave one example. Yeah? I took Riverside by Damac. But it happened with Bay Grove. It happened even now with Villanova, all of this. I just took Riverside, which had 1,900 units. That is Damac at Dubai South. 1,900 units were launched, 3,900 EOIs. For every one unit, there were two guys in line. So either you buy or you move.
Very true.
Now, that sold out in 3 hours. That's 630 units in 1 hour. 63 units every 10 minutes. So, I mean,
Wow.
one is the reports. The international reports have all put Dubai right up there. We are the top performing market in the world. Now, that's the international report. The developers are all launching. The government has an agenda, but the real proof in the pudding is in the eating. Are people buying? They're going away disappointed.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I'm going with it, I will go with the numbers on the ground because the reality is every single thing is selling out in Dubai.
And the same thing's going to happen with the new launch of Damak again, which is the
Oh,
islands.
100%. Islands is going.
Islands.
Phase
Yeah.
1 is gone.
Yes, I just got it to know today.
Said, who do you think win? ChatGPT or Mr. Anand and Zoheb?
These two legends on stage.
ChatGPT, I don't have a chance. Should we ask another question, Raza?
Definitely.
What do you
think? Earlier, Dr. Anand was saying that we cannot compare really Dubai to almost any other city because Dubai, in comparison with the other cities, is considered a baby because of its age, right? Like Dubai is what, like 25 years old?
Okay. The UAE is 53 years old, but the Dubai that we know today is
yeah.
24 years old. It's from the year 2000 that the city started getting noticed. So this city that has gone to the top 3 in the world, that is catching the imagination of everybody, is a 24-year-old city.
So we cannot possibly when we're comparing the market cycles and when we're comparing the markets, the real estate markets in general, we cannot do really the comparison much with cities that are much older. For instance, New York, Singapore, or even like Hong Kong and all of that.
Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask it. Let's ask it like cities
go
that are
ahead.
better than Dubai.
Okay, go for it.
What are
In real estate, specifically.
What are the cities that are better than Dubai for investment in terms of real estate?
I'd be surprised if it did come up with anything.
All right, let's.
If it did. I'm disappointed. Its sources are wrong.
It's rendering. All right.
Is it
let's
taking
go.
a while to think?
So, all right. There is top three. We're gonna go top three directly. It said London, UK.
Okay.
It said New York City, USA. And it said other cities like Singapore and all of that. But it mentioned also Miami, USA.
Okay.
That are better.
Okay.
Better in what
Better
sense?
in what way?
Yes.
So
that's the right question.
okay, let's pick three. Yeah, let's go to UK.
UK or London?
London, UK. Sorry, London, UK. Why better? Strong legal protection for investors, a global financial hub with consistent demand or residential and commercial properties, high rental yields in certain zones, and long-term price appreciation. Now the challenges: high entry cost.
Sorry, it forgot to add the taxes.
Yeah. ChatGPT is I think it have a bias.
ChatGPT
Okay.
is
Very
definitely
biased.
biased, and it's
Yeah,
only listing the
ChatGPT
pros,
is biased.
forgetting the cons.
Okay. The average rental yield in London is 4.93% before tax, gross.
Yes.
4.93.
Okay.
How does that qualify as an investment better than Dubai? When you're getting between your 7 and 8% here, how does that qualify? This is the first thing. Okay. The second thing, you're going to be buying into beaten old buildings, cracks on the road. They have a gym in the basement. You stare at a wall and bricks. You have the roads that are cracking, cables are lying on the streets, homeless are on the street, and people are willing to pay 3 times the price per square foot for an aging city that is breaking down with crime as high as a skyscraper when we are giving you a spanking new city with all the technology and the infrastructure and the future in front of you at 1/3 the price. I'm not even talking the
And the
returns minus the
safety.
tax.
And the safety.
And all of that.
Yeah.
So I think ChatGPT
Is biased.
They're going to learn from this. Their question next time will be better. That's gone.
We're going to update
You wanna add-
ChatGPT
yeah,
in this
I'm sure.
episode.
You want to add something on that?
No, like Anand Bhai mentioned
Yeah.
clearly.
On
I mean,
London?
there's
On London, we're good.
I'll give you
Yeah.
2 more things on London.
Tell me, please.
The UK announced recession in April of this year.
Oh,
yes, they did.
Okay. They're losing the highest number of millionaires this year, and they're all coming to the UAE. 9,500 millionaires are leaving. These are the millionaires leaving, saying it's becoming unbearable. At one point, they even considered putting an exit tax to stop the guys from leaving.
what? So that's why ChatGPT is biased. Maybe they're even altering ChatGPT for them to come back.
I honestly don't think it's biased, but yeah, okay. The reality on the ground, again, where does ChatGPT get its information from? Existing sources on the internet. Most of the existing sources are historical, past. We're
Yeah.
about the future.
Yeah.
How are you
100%.
going to use the past to represent or speak against a city of the future?
True, but there is another city here that sounds like it's a glamorous city, New York. What they say is that why better? High global demand for luxury and commercial properties, strong rental market due to the constant influx of professionals, students, and tourists, established and transparent real estate market. The challenges: high prices and taxes can reduce short-term returns. That's the only challenge.
Zoheb, you want to say anything?
No, I mean, he said it himself. It's the high taxes.
Taxes. Let's look
Plus, again, highlighting the similar points again. I was in New York just this June.
Yeah.
Every year I visit the US. New York is probably a stop. Homeless on the street, in Times Square, on downtown, everywhere you go. I walk into the US. The first thing I do is I remove my watch and I put it in the safe. I don't wear it outside. I don't wear jewelry. I don't wear anything. It's just not safe. I was in Times Square at 6 o'clock in the morning grabbing a cup of coffee with my wife from the local grocery store. I had, sadly, a drunk homeless man sneak in and steal a whole bunch of Red Bull at 6 in the morning. And I'm like, bro, you're 80. Red Bull's not going to do anything for you. But literally, I mean,
Yeah.
it's become horrible.
Yeah.
I was afraid. I told my wife, I'm like, next time we don't come to New York, we'll just stay in Texas.
The quality is bad. The quality of life is bad.
It's not safe at all.
Yeah.
The streets smell. The
yeah.
the
I've heard that,
underground
by the way.
smells.
Yeah. I heard
You don't
that.
want to go down to the underground.
Other than that, honestly, I would add to it. Like, for me, there's another point where any city would lose. Whether we're talking about the U.S., we're talking about Europe, any city would lose a bet against Dubai. One, I would say convenience. Dubai is the most convenient city in the world.
Yeah,
Like I recently, like I was traveling across Europe. I was in Germany and I was in Belgium. In Bruxelles, I went out at 9 p.m. thinking that it's normal because I'm on vacation. It's summer. It's normal. I went out. I promise you, like the streets were empty.
no life.
Empty. I called my I have family members in a different city. I'm like, I'm outside. Where are the people? And they were screaming, "Go back! Run to your hotel!
Oh, it's
Run!
dangerous.
Yes,
Of
run to your hotel
Even
at 9
Germany.
p.m." I'm like,
course.
what is this?
Is there any numbers in the
And-
game?
Yes, because I listen. When Paul is punching, we punch back. Okay, it's very simple. The first point that came out, if I remember right, it was about luxury.
Yeah, that's a very good point. If you
Okay.
can, yeah.
Let me talk about that. And this statistic is coming from the Knight Frank Destination Dubai 2024 report.
Yeah.
If you look last year alone, New York had 211 homes that were sold in the $10 million and above.
Yes.
Okay. London had 240 homes sold in the $10 million and above. Dubai had 431 homes in the $10 million and above. So when you're talking luxury, baby, it is here. We were 79.5% above London and 104% above New York.
love that.
We looked at the returns at 4.93% for London. It's 4.8% in New York before tax.
Before taxes.
Before tax. So with tax, dead.
There you go.
No other city gives these returns, man.
All right.
Everywhere it's
You're
3
talking
to
of the
4%.
professionals in the world going there. They're coming to Dubai now.
Yeah, this
The world
also
comes
that
here.
was this point. Yeah, professional. Not, but also New York. We know that it's attracting a lot of talent. But Dubai now it's also attracting a lot
Listen,
of talent.
Dubai is the future. And you have to always understand this. London is a 2,000-year-old city. They've had 2,000 years. New York
Done.
is 490 years old.
Dubai
Paris is
not even
1,800.
50.
Yeah.
1,800 years. Singapore took 59 years to do it. In 24 years, we became who we are today. And we've gone ahead of all of them. For ChatGPT and for all the UK boys, here's a report from the UK itself. The Economist survey, August of last year. The third most influential city in the world, GPCI, Global Power City Index, was Dubai. Number 1 was Switzerland, number 2 was Singapore, number 3 was Dubai. We're ahead of London, New York, Paris, Toronto, Sydney, Mumbai. You name them. Beijing, Shanghai, we're ahead of all of them. Look at the millionaire growth rate. The last 10 years, we're talking the percentage growth rate of millionaires. London had a 40% growth rate. New York had a 40% growth rate. Singapore had a 40% growth rate. Las Vegas had a 34% growth rate. London went minus 15%. Okay? We're
dropping.
talking millionaires coming. They're here.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why.
all, they're all escaping to
Beijing
Dubai. Yeah.
increased by 70%. Shanghai increased by 72%. And Dubai by 78%.
So we're competing with cities like Shanghai and Beijing. It's
Comparing with some of the biggest cities in the
yeah,
world.
it's
Yeah.
huge.
Maybe ChatGPT needs to check with us next time.
Yeah. I think.
Because I think we're winning this
Maybe we just remove the chat and just keep GPT.
There is another city which is Miami. Why I wanted to talk about Miami because they mentioned Singapore before Miami, but I wanted to talk about Miami because it's similar to Dubai. They say attract wealthy investors.
Correct. It is.
Yeah,
It
due
does.
to its favorable tax policies, it's like there's less tax. A strong demand for luxury properties and second homes. I don't know what they mean by second homes, like secondary.
Like a
no.
holiday
Second
home.
Buying
homes,
another home.
like holiday homes.
Oh,
you
right.
have
More than one.
your first home
Alright,
and then
yeah.
you have
Cool,
your
cool.
holiday home.
Now, booming rental market fueled by population growth and tourism. Challenges vulnerable to natural disasters like hurricanes.
Where in the US you are not having a natural disaster? It's everywhere.
Not just
So,
a natural disaster.
However, no, generally you'll have it. So now, yes, Miami is, of those three, they're the only one that is attractive in there. But again, average rate, 4.8%
True.
before tax,
So the tax, yeah?
Rental
They lose
yields,
against Dubai in
yeah.
the tax.
hands down.
I had a client from Miami and he's like, I don't know why when the VAT was first introduced and the corporate tax was first introduced, and he's like, I don't know why these people complain so much with 5% and 9%. Come to our city, we pay north of 30-40%. You know
Yeah.
what? I am very happy paying 9% over here.
And the quality is like next level.
Listen, taxation is a good thing. Okay, in any city. Take the top 200 cities in the world. They all have taxes.
All have taxes.
Okay, but they expect Dubai to be unique. It doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
cannot be unfair to the city
Of course.
when you're okay with it in 200 cities. You don't like what we are doing now? Go back to your city. They
Yeah.
won't leave as well.
They will
True.
not.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. Today, we are striving to become number one in the world. You want to come here with your family, enjoy a good quality life, make your money, and build a home and a future for yourself. And you want to leave it to Sheikh Mohammed to spend the money to
Yeah.
build a city. You will contribute here. If not, pack your bags and go
And
home.
come back.
We don't want
For
people
sure.
like you here.
And there
We
is a
have to contribute.
and there is a big misconception, and I'm sure about it. Everybody is saying Dubai is expensive. Dubai is so cheap, food wise. Now we're discovering real estate wise, petrol wise. Everything is cheap. Cars
Well, Dubai is not cheap. I wouldn't say Dubai is cheap.
comparing
but
to the top cities.
yeah, well, comparing to the top cities, I would say, I mean, if you compare it to which city, for instance, if we're going to compare, not even a city, if we're going to compare it to Europe, I would say it's almost the same. But for me, what I'm looking at is, again, I would go back to the point of convenience. Like here,
Yeah.
what you get, you don't get in any other city. You don't get the safety. You don't get the tolerance of people. Like in anywhere in the world, it might be even cheaper to live, but you would face so much racism.
Yeah.
Lots of other things.
Here,
For
it's
me,
like a felony.
it is not cheap to live here, but you get so much for what you're paying.
It's like the price you pay for something better.
Exactly.
Yes, the costs are. It's not expensive. I think it's
acceptable, I would
it's
say.
acceptable because of what you get in return. And let's say even from our country or from any other country that you come, you're not gonna get all of this.
Third world
It's
countries.
impossible. And then you end up paying 40 different types of taxes because you went out for dinner. Right? You don't get that over here. You don't have all those things over here.
You take the top 10 cities in the world, they're all expensive. I think how we have to relate to it is you don't physically compare a price for a bottle of water, Evian, with a price there. Look at your spend power. If you have 100% salary, you go
Yes.
home with 50, 60%.
100%.
You go home here with 100%, at least at this point in time. So your spend power is much, much higher than any other place. And we have got spoiled by that kind of luxury and benefit that we had, that we don't want to be now paying for that. But yes, you want to have the best city in the world. And most people here, I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm right on this. Okay? The moment they get onto a plane and they go home and they get down in the airport, they start complaining immediately.
I'm sure everybody, not 90%,
sure.
100%.
I do that from the airplane itself.
Yeah.
From the airplane
Starting in the
itself.
airplane.
They start complaining immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy we had this episode. Really, like, I want to say something from. Maybe this is the best episode I ever had. I want to thank you for being here.
Who won?
You guys won.
definitely.
Mike Tyson.
Clearly.
Look, please keep your comments to comment who you think won, ChatGPT or Zoheb and Anand. I believe Dr. Anand, Mr. Zoheb won, according to me.
100%.
I don't know about you, Raja.
Tyson,
And
team.
yeah, Tyson is the best. It was staged. Yeah? It was staged. Tyson could have beat the Jake Paul. That's what I believe. Anyways, thank you so much for coming. Any last words you want to add?
No, we had a good time. I think it was awesome.
Thank you so
I
much.
will add just one thing. Okay? Every one of us, including all of us in this room, you cannot come to the city of Dubai, live a good life, build your family, set up your companies, make your money, enjoy the next 20, 30 years of your life, and leave it to Sheikh Mohammed to take the city into the future. Every single one of us in this room, including everyone sitting there, every single one of us has to be an ambassador for the city of Dubai.
They have to contribute.
Yes, and it's the spirit of Dubai.
Yeah.
We know the story from here. People hear the noise out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
we
inside.
must be ambassadors for the city of Dubai. Every single one of us. That goes to everyone who's even watching this. If you cannot recognize and be grateful for this city, pack your bags and leave.
And like you said,
I agree 100%.
it's not contribute monetarily. Like Anand Bhai said, we are ambassadors of the city.
Like what you say, how you
Exactly.
yeah.
And I think that's important. I've been here for 34 years. I don't plan to leave anytime.
That's the best city to
We
be in.
need to represent
Yeah.
the city properly.
As the Raja say, it's Disneyland for adults.
Well, it is the Disneyland for adults.
All right.
How come ChatGPT didn't pick up on the floods? I hear that a lot.
Yeah, it was the floods. The floods. Actually, what we did was amazing, and people was bashing about any city in floods. They will suffer. We didn't. I didn't suffer. There were legit floods in Dubai, legit real floods, and I didn't suffer.
Some people were affected.
Well, but
some
like
people were affected, but
I lived,
the way
I lived real flood in Algeria. It's people die, people die in floods. But
Let me give you some numbers for that also.
Why not?
We can use it. Because when I saw that, I did go through it, particularly Europe. For some reason, they landed on Dubai like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Okay. However, we need to understand what happened here and the responses. Firstly, this was the first time it happened in 75 years. Now, what does that tell you? This does not happen. 2 generations have seen this for the first time.
Fine.
No city on the planet can prepare for something like that. You do not build your stormwater drain system for something that never happens. What we build is buildings that can withstand earthquakes, that will not allow the dust and the sand in the air to come inside, because that is our natural environment. Our infrastructures are for that. 254 millimeters of rain fell that day. That's 6 months of rain in London. If that had fallen on London in one day, London would have been underwater.
correct.
Let's take another example, okay? Every city out there, every single year, let's take the US. They have storm seasons every year. They have hurricanes every year. They have tornadoes. They know it is coming every single year. And they are first world countries with all the technology. They know it's coming every year. And they're still flooded every time it happens.
yeah,
A city that has never had it in 75 years, you expect a different response from that city? Grow up.
But hey, the
But it
very
ha-
next day they announced the drainage system.
Exactly.
$80 billion drainage system
The next
was
day.
announced.
the most expensive one, I think.
I don't know. I can't comment
Yeah.
because I don't know the number on that. But again, why I'm bringing this up is people were very unfair where they expected, when they know what is happening and
Yeah.
they cannot handle it. 254 millimeters fell in New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina. Okay, in 2 days. It took 2 months before 25% of the people could come back to the city. It took 4 months before 50% of people could come back to the city. It took 9 years to rebuild New Orleans. We were on our feet in 5 days.
Wow.
The
I
best
agree.
disaster management.
I'll give you another statistic and then
Ever.
I will shut up after this. I've been talking a lot.
We are
Okay.
enjoying all of
Okay.
this
Love it.
information.
2005 to 2022, this is from statista.com. I looked in 17 years, how many major floods actually happened? We didn't have a major flood. We had some areas that had a heavy bashing with the rain, but we didn't have a classified major flood. But in 17 years, there were 3,000 floodings in major cities. That's 170 every year. That's 14 every month.
Yeah.
So on an average, every week, 4 cities, on an average, every week, 4 cities for 17 years have been flooded. And they have a problem when we had one in 75 years.
You heard him, right? So shut up.
Hey, they're building on the hate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's good.
It's good for us. Let them hate. Let them hate.
Any publicity is good publicity, I guess.
Any publicity is good publicity. With that note, I'm gonna end the podcast. Thank you so much for coming, and everybody here, you've been checked.
Thank you so much.
We're done. It was amazing. I loved it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much
you.
for being
Thank
here,
you.
guys. We can put the AC now.